Hello everybody, so welcome once again to the second lecture of polynomials. So in the last lecture basically we studied the basics of the polynomials, that what exactly is a polynomial, what are the terms of the polynomial, what are the coefficients of polynomial term, what is a zero polynomial, and how do we find out the degree of a polynomial, and how do we find out the zeros of the polynomial, or basically what are the zeros of the polynomials. Okay, so moving on, the next topic what we have today is a very important one, is called as a remainder theorem. Okay, so next topic what we have is a remainder theorem. Now what do we mean by remainder theorem? Now you must have studied or understood this word called remainder in your previous classes as well, that what exactly is remainder. Remainder is something when we divide something from something, we get a quotient, obviously, right? And if the term is not completely divisible, so the remaining term is, we get a remaining term which cannot be divided further, so that remaining term is known as the remainder. Like for example, divide 15 by 4. So now if we divide 15 by 4, so basically what do we get? This is how we'll divide, right? Now 4 ones are 4, 4 2s are 8, 4 6 are 12. So 15 minus 12 is going to be 3, correct? Now if you see here carefully, now this will be your quotient, right? And this particular thing which cannot be further divided, right, is known as the remainder, right? So basically if you want to rewrite this expression again, so how can you write this? You can write this 15 is going to be equals to 4 times 3 plus 3, correct? So this is basically your remainder theorem mathematically. Okay, now how do we define it? Let's see. Now basically we are studying remainder theorem in terms of polynomials, right? So let's say, let Px is a polynomial, right, with a degree 1 or above, right? So degree has to be of the polynomial has to be 1 or above, so that we can apply the polynomial like remainder theorem to that. Okay, so degree has to be 1 or above. Let Px be a polynomial, and let x minus a is a linear polynomial. Now what do you mean by linear polynomial? Basically the degree is going to be 1, so that means it's linear. So x minus a is a linear polynomial, Px is a polynomial. Now if you say, if P of x is divided by x minus a, so P of a will be the remainder, right? So this is what your remainder theorem is. Let Px is a polynomial with a degree 1 or above, and let x minus a is a linear polynomial. If Px is divided by x minus a, so in that case Pa will be the remainder of that particular polynomial Px. Okay, so how do we write it mathematically now? So mathematically it's going to be P of x will be equals to x minus a q of x plus rx, right? So Px is equals to x minus a times qx, which is nothing but your quotient, right, and plus Rx is nothing but your remainder. Okay, so this is how you write the remainder theorem. Okay, now we'll do some examples and I'll make you understand in a mathematical way that how it happens. Okay, so let's do an example. The example what we have is find the remainder when x4 plus x cube minus 2x square plus x plus 1 is divided by a term called x minus 1. So basically this is our p of x, right? And this term is our x minus a, correct? So basically what is the remainder theorem? That if any term, any polynomial term px when divided by x minus a, so the remainder is p of a. So basically if you compare here, you can see that a is nothing but 1, correct? So what you have to do, you have to apply the remainder theorem directly and basically get the value of this particular term at p of a, which is p of 1 in this case. So we'll just write p of 1 is going to be, in place of x I'll write 1. So 1 to the power 4 plus 1 cube minus 2 times 1 square plus 1 plus 1, right? So wherever we had x, I just substituted 1 over there. So 1 raised to power 4 is 1 itself, 1 raised to power cube is 1 itself. Now negative 2 times 1 square will be 1, 2 times 1 plus 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 2 times 1 is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2. So plus 2 minus 2 will get cancelled. So you will eventually get 2. So the remainder here is going to be 2, right? So that's how we apply the remainder theorem to any particular given term. Okay, so let's do one more example. Okay, now the next example what we have is find remainder when x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1 is divided by 2x plus 5, right? So as per the remainder theorem, this particular thing is nothing but our p of x is divided by 2x plus 5. So basically we have to convert this into x minus a thing. So now if you see here 2x plus 5, right? So first of all what we'll do, we have to just get rid of this 2. So we'll just divide by 2, right? So we'll get x plus 5 over 2, right? Now since we have to convert this into x minus a thing, so how do we write in the negative form? So can we write it as x minus 5 over 2, correct? And now if you compare it with x minus a, so your a is going to be negative 5 over 2. So basically we have to find out the value of this particular polynomial at x is equals to negative 5 over 2. So we'll just write p, in place of x I will write negative 5 over 2. So wherever we have x in this term, we'll write negative 5 over 2. So negative 5 over 2 whole cube plus 3 negative 5 over 2 square plus 3 negative 5 over 2 plus 1. Okay. Now negative 5 over 2 whole cube. Now how do we do it? Negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. So we'll get negative 125 over, now 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So we'll write it as 8. Now plus 3 will come as it is. Now negative 5 over 2 square. So negative 5 times negative 5, which is going to be 25 over 2 times 2, which is 4. Then again plus, now 3 times negative 5 over 2. Now 3 times negative 5 over 2 is going to be negative 15 over 2, and plus 1 will come as it is. Okay. So we have 125 over 8 minus 125 over 8 plus, now 3 times 25 is 75 by 4 and minus 15 by 2 plus 1, right? So basically if you see here, the LCM out here is going to be obviously 8, correct? So LCM is 8, that means we have to multiply this term by 2 to make it 8, right? And this term will be multiplied by 4, and this 1 will be multiplied by 8 in the numerator and 8 in the denominator, so that the denominators of everything is 8. So we will get negative 125 by 8 plus 150 by 8 negative 60 by 8 and plus 8 over 8. So now we'll just do the calculation, do the math, and we'll get after doing the math minus 27 over 8. So this is going to be the remainder in that case. The remainder we'll get is as minus 27 by 8, right? Okay guys, so the next topic what we have in this chapter is your factor theorem. So basically now we'll study what exactly is the factor theorem. Okay, so guys, factor theorem is basically nothing but a little extension of your remainder theorem only. Now in the remainder theorem what we studied, that if we are dividing a polynomial px by a term x minus a, and so that the remainder is p of a, right? Now if that remainder is, understand it very carefully now, if that remainder is 0, that means x minus a will be a factor of the given polynomial term px, right? So how do we write it now? Again, if px is a polynomial with a degree higher than 1 and x minus a is a linear polynomial when divided if we get the remainder as 0. If we get the remainder as 0, that means x minus a is a factor of px, right? That means p of a should be equals to 0 for x minus a to be a factor of px. It is as simple as that. So we'll do some examples and you can understand it in a better way. So mathematically, if you want to write, you can just write p of x is equals to q of x times x minus a, right? There will be no rx term because there is going to be no remainder. Okay guys, so example what we have is identify if x plus 2 is a factor of x cube plus 3x square plus 5x plus 6. So basically we have to identify if this term is a factor of this or no, right? So for that, again, this is our p of x and this is basically your x minus a. So you have to convert this into x minus a. So x plus 2 can be written as x minus minus 2, correct? Because negative negative is positive, so we will get the same term. Now if you just compare simply, your a is negative 2. So basically we have to find out p of negative 2 here for this particular term, and if it comes to be a 0, that means it's a factor, otherwise it's not. It is as simple as that. So in place of x, I'll write negative 2. So negative 2 cube plus 3 negative 2 square plus 5 of negative 2 plus 6. Now negative 2 cube is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is going to be negative 8 plus 3. Now negative 2 square is obviously positive 4. 5 times negative 2 will be negative 10 plus 6. So we'll just do the math. Now negative 8, 4 times 3 is 12. So now we'll just do the math and we'll see, we'll get negative 18 plus 18, right? Why? Because negative 10 and negative 8 will give you negative 18, and plus 6 and plus 12 will give you plus 18. So negative 18 positive 18 will get cancelled, you'll get as 0. So that means yes, x plus 2 is a factor of the given polynomial term. Okay, so basically that's how we identify whether it is a factor or not. Okay guys, so next topic out here is finding the remainder using the long division method. So basically we have to understand how do the long division method takes place in case of algebra, in case of polynomials. Okay, so example what we have is, for the long division method, divide 3x4 minus 4x cube minus 3x minus 1 by x minus 1. So we'll just see how do we divide it now. Okay, so you have to divide this term by this term, right? So we'll just write in the long division method form. We'll have to write it like that. Okay, now the very important thing here is, basically you have to multiply this term with some term so that you can get these terms, right? So what should be that term? We have to find out that. So it is a trick where we have to find out that we should multiply this particular term with which term. So for that we just have to take the first term here, right, and first term here. So the first term here is 3x, 4, we'll make a small box here. So first term here is 3x to the power 4, and the first term here is x. So we just have to divide both the terms. Now once dividing, we can just see the x will get cancelled here, so you'll get 3x cube, correct? So basically you have to divide this x minus term by 3x cube. Okay, so we'll just write 3x cube over here. So x times 3x cube will get 3x raised to power 4. Now negative 1 times 3x cube will get negative 3x cube. So we'll just write it just beneath the x cube term like that. So this is what we'll get, correct? Now if you see these terms, these terms are equal. So we'll just subtract them, and already we have a subtraction sign out here, so we'll make it positive. So this term will get cancelled. Now negative 4, positive 3, you'll get negative 1. So negative 1 x cube, right? And you'll just take down the other terms as it is, like that. Okay, now again you have to multiply x by which term? So for that, the same method, the first term here, which is negative x cube, over the first term here, which is x itself. So if you just divide it, you'll get negative 1 x square, right? So basically we have to multiply this term by negative 1 x square. So we'll just write negative 1 x square. Now x into negative 1 x square will get negative 1 x cube. Negative 1 times negative 1 x square, negative is positive. So now negative 1 times negative 1 x square will be positive x square. Now you cannot see a x square term out here, so you have to just write this term secluded. We'll just write positive 1 x square like that. Okay, now if you see these two terms are equal, so we'll just put a positive sign, and here we'll put a negative sign. So this term will get cancelled. So first of all we have to take down this term as a negative 1x square, then negative 3x, and negative 1 will come as it is, right? Now again, from which term we have to multiply? The same thing. The first term here is negative 1x square over the first term here is x. So we'll just divide negative 1x, right? So we'll just multiply that by negative 1x. X into negative 1x, I'll get negative 1 x square. Negative 1 times negative 1x will be positive 1x, correct? So we'll just write it down beneath the x term. Now if you see both the terms are equal, so I'll just write positive and negative, since already we have a positive sign here. This will get cancelled. So negative 3 and negative 1 will get negative 4x minus 1. Okay. Now if you see here, you have a x out here and you have a negative 4x. So basically you can just by look of it, you can see that you have to multiply it by negative 4, right? So negative 4 times x, you will get a negative 4x, and negative 1 times negative 4, you will get a positive 4. Now if you see both the terms are equal, so just addition and subtraction, so they will get cancelled. Negative 1, negative 4, you will get negative 5. So this will be your remainder, right? And this what we have got is your quotient, right? So that's how we use the long division method for division in algebra. I hope this is clear to you all. Okay guys, so that's all in this lecture. So in this lecture we have studied about the remainder theorem, we have studied about the factor theorem, and we have studied about the long division method for the division. So thank you so much for your time, and if you like my effort, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, and comment down your feelings, that what you feel about it and how I can improve more. So in the next class we will discuss the final points of this chapter in the next lecture. Till then, thank you and take care.